Albuquerque Mayor R.J. Berry traveled to Arizona today to meet with Navajo Nation leaders to talk about a big issue here, homelessness. The meeting comes just weeks after two homeless Navajo men were beaten to death on a mattress near 60th and Central. News 13's Catherine Mazzone was at that meeting.
Mayor Berry, President Shelley, and leaders from both Albuquerque and the Navajo Nation packed into a conference room here in Window Rock to discuss how to take two tragic murders and turn them into finding solutions to homelessness.
This is a huge step forward, and I think that now that we have this joint effort, we're finally getting down to business to finally do something about homelessness, throughout the state of New Mexico.
The task force was started after the deaths of Allison Gorman and Key Thompson. Police say 3 Albuquerque teens beat them to death as they slept on a mattress in a lot near 60th and Central last month. Mayor Berry says the city already has programs to help the homeless. Things like Heading Home, which puts people living on the streets in permanent homes. But he says that's not enough. The task force is looking at how to increase funding for more treatment facilities, help for mental illness, and more housing for the homeless.
How can we break this cycle of homelessness? We will be looking at why the Native American population that find themselves homeless in Albuquerque find themselves in that position. It'll be a similar discussion with individuals that aren't members of the Native American community.
That's where services like job training and education come into play.
We educate and train them and try to release them back to society and creating a job, not to keep them there for a lifetime. That's not the right way to do it.
It's why they say this task force is so important. A bipartisan, sustainable group with its own funding that can even act as a model for other cities.
This program that we're putting together should be special. It should break away from the politics, and it works on its own.
Mayor Berry says the goal is for President Shelley to have a leadership team put together by next week. He says he hopes to have a task force director chosen by the end of the month and a preliminary assessment with data and recommendations by October. In Window Rock, Catherine Mazzone, KRQE News 13.
The Human Rights Council for both Albuquerque and the Navajo Nation and members of law enforcement were at today's meeting. The group also discussed Senator Bill O'Neill's legislation that would make it a hate crime to attack the homeless.